that's where opportunity is. Hey guys, welcome back to the Deal Review. Today we're going to be checking out a deal in Rochester. Well, more specifically, Strood. Now, if you don't know where these areas are, they are basically North Kent. Here you go, you see it on a map, and you may be able to tell that there is great links to London from here. So this is a very in-demand area. In fact, if you zoom in, you've got Rochester train station there. So yeah, really good place for a potential investment. Now, we're going to be looking at a sold property that I found. It's been sold. Well, subject to closing, might not go through, but we're going to be checking out the property through the eyes of a property investor to see if that would make a good investment. And that refers to this property, Cecil Avenue. We have a terraced property, number 13, and to be honest, on first look, it doesn't look that bad, really. Like the flooring looks fine, yeah, maybe some new painting or something, but generally, oh, there we go. Now we can see where it falls apart a bit. This whole kitchen needs to get pulled out and redone. That needs updating, and a lot of fixes need to be in place. But a lot of the rooms here actually look fine. Look at this. Look at that. That bathroom obviously needs to get redone. But okay, so upstairs we're falling apart a little bit. But that's where opportunity is. When we can find things that we can add value to, that's where money is, right? A lot of people are running away from these things. And check that out. That's a nice garden. So we have a fantastic opportunity on our hands, potentially. But it all comes down to the numbers. Currently the property is listed for 210, but if you've seen any of these videos, you know that's not the market value. Anyone can put a number up. What matters is what people actually pay for. So you need to look at comparables in the area. Comparables are like-for-like properties in the area that are in both a end condition, like if you've refurbed it and it's done really well, properties that have sold in those conditions, but also some current market comparables. So properties that are similar in a similar condition. However, I've done my comparables here, tried to, speed it all up. Here we go. We can see good comparables here. In fact, I'll show you a couple of examples. So these are called GDV comparables. GDV means like end value, gross development value, right? That means it's been refurbed, and it's in a good condition. It's been sold at a nice condition. One that if we refurbed our property, we would like it to be in at least. This one probably could do with a better updating, but then there's some really nice ones in here. I won't go down every single property in the list, but I mean that again. Some of these you could probably do a bit more updating to. But if you do use incomparables that are a bit more average in condition, then if you decide to take this investment on, that means you're going to have way more potential if you manage to get them in a better condition than the ones that you've used, right? But as you can see, talking about current market comparables earlier, we don't have any. So it's not often that, a lot of other properties are going to be in the exact same condition and sold in the exact same condition in a particular area. They're not as important as the GDV comparables. So we are not going to worry about that, and we're just going to continue. But yeah, now you have your end value comparables. What you need to do is you need to get, in fact, I'll show you here. You need to get all the sold prices. You need to find out the square meterage or the square footage. Then you can find the price per square foot or meter, and then you want to probably adjust it by some appreciation in the area. These all sold from last year, and for the video, I'm not going to go individual and price them all up, but you'd then adjust it by the inflation, and then that would give you an adjusted price per square foot. You average them all to get an average of the area, and then you times it by your property's square footage or meterage, right? And that should give you the estimate for the end value you could sell it for, right? Ideally. So doing all the comparables and pricing it all up, we are getting a GDV of 265, which our property's on the market for 210, means we have potentially a great investment on our hands because we've got some room for a bit of a refurb. So now we know what the value is and we know what the end value is, what we're going to be able to achieve if we were to do it up. Now we need to work out what the refurb cost is, right? How much is it going to cost to build this? Well, based on the pictures, again, I've not been to the property. I say it again, I've not been to the property, but based on just the pictures, it looks pretty in good condition and needs very minimal work. So what I've done is I've just done some basic things here. Flooring, some repainting of the rooms, rewire, kitchen, bathroom, boiler, doors, and also I've gone into the EPC recommendations because on the EPC website, I think it came to like an E or a D, and so if you want to rent it out, it's always good practice to get that EPC requirement up to a C, and you can see that if you go on the EPC website for the property. So what does that bring our build cost to? Our build cost now comes to 38,000. There is room. However, we do have some more costs, right? You can't just buy a property for exactly as it says and there's no extra fees involved. You always have to pay something a little bit more. So we've got stamp duty. It is in a livable condition, arguably, so we will have to pay stamp duty on this one. Legals, I've upped the prices a little bit on these just to be as conservative as possible when it comes to pricing things. But yeah, legals, maybe a survey. You're probably not going to need to spend 1,500 on a survey for this. You're probably more in the region of like 400, 300 to 400 because it is a smaller property. But hey, why don't we be really conservative with our calculations here? And it's always good practice to do that. And then also an agent fee. For this one, it would be 4,200, which brings our total investment to £262. So if that's our total investment and we can sell for 265, we're not really making much profit here, are we? In fact, we're making £3,200 profit, which is a return on investment of 1.23%. So if you're looking for a flip, this isn't the one. However, property prices are down at the moment all across the country, in this area as well. So I think that you could use that as some good leverage to negotiate the price down. So I hope whoever bought this property negotiated it for a good price. But if I was looking at this property and I was trying to haggle the price down, where do I need to get it for it to be a really good investment? Now, based on the property and how, I don't think it needs a whole lot of work done. Kitchens, bathrooms, some paint and stuff. You could probably do the whole property within 3 months. So similar to the other properties I've seen before, you could probably buy and end up selling this property. I think it takes an average of 27 days in this particular area to sell. So you could sell this whole property, do the refurb and sell it within 6 months. And if you were to do that, you could argue you're happy with a lesser return because you're getting the property, you're selling it really quickly. I think if there's a property that you could probably do up within 6 months, you can probably ask for like a return on investment of maybe 10%, right? So let's see, we're at 210 right now. What do we need? 190. So that's not even that much of a discount, right? We're just asking for an extra 20,000 off, right? And that's basically all going to be our profit, getting that down. And if this project takes 6 months to do, 24,000 in 6 months, you maybe find another property like this halfway through. That's a great return on investment. Of course, we're always looking for properties that, me personally, when I'm trying to find deals to sell on, I'm always trying to get that, if it's for a flip, I'm trying to get that return on investment to about 20%. I'm going to be trying to get this down to 170. So a bit steeper. We may have to kind of negotiate with the agent, try some more creative strategies with the seller if they'd be open to it. But 170 is basically a phenomenal deal if we could get it for that. Let's think about maybe holding this property. If we decide to hold the property, then we're looking at a buy-to-let rent in the area of about 1,300. Now I think it could probably achieve more, but I did some reports, and here we can say if it was done up to a good value, then, well, here's the other thing. I've done these computer-generated reports, so you can see here the sale valuation for this. It's saying 275 plus or minus 15,000. So in that area that we got our GDV, and it's saying a rental valuation of about 1,300. But if we go and do some more reports, done a bit more research into the area, it's going to be really hard for you to see that because it's in yellow. But this is into the 1,400 range. And also, if you go on recently rented prices in the area, there's a lot of 3-beds that rent for 1,400, 1,500 and 1,600. So I think you could probably get way more. But let's be conservative, right? Let's say we're only going to achieve 1,300 in the rent for that. what does that bring our return on investment to? Well, what does that bring our profit to? So if we take some things off, so 10% for management and void periods, 12% for maintenance, then we're getting a profit of 11,800 a year, which is a return on investment of 4.49. So it's not actually too bad of an investment, if I might say. It's for 210. I mean, there's a lot of places in Kent, right, where house prices are over 300 and you're getting a similar rent, right, and a similar return, and obviously the return on investment is way less than that. So it doesn't even look too bad. Now, I did consider this for some other strategies, right? Maybe renting this out as an HMO, but if you saw the floor plan, this is the entry here. We've got a lounge and a dining room. So I was thinking, okay, maybe we put up a stud wall here and then another one. Maybe that'll work. But it just all looks too crammed. And then when you go upstairs, we've got a bedroom that hangs off another bedroom. So the logistics of this is the one thing I find a lot with Medway properties. Now, I'm sure you don't know a whole lot about finding properties in Medway, maybe you do, but a lot of the houses are the same kind of a layout. I assume a developer, in the early 1900s was like, okay, we're just going to use this same design for everything. So looking at these properties, you're always finding these properties that have a bedroom off another bedroom, which is always a really weird layout. If anything, that should probably just be an ensuite, right? But yeah, it doesn't work as an HMO. What else can it work as? Potentially serviced accommodation. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, that means you rent out the property on Airbnb, you rent it as a whole property, or you can do it room by room. In this particular area, it works best if you just rent out the whole property. And in the area, you're getting an average amount of basically £20 a night with an average occupancy of 60%, which would, if we take off, all the fees, we're going to take off maintenance, booking fees like booking.com, management, if you wanted to keep it hands off, then we're looking at profiting almost 13,000 a year, which is definitely better. However, it's a whole business in itself. So I wouldn't recommend doing, even with the management, you'd need to get it up and running first, which would probably take a bit more investment, especially with furniture. You might need to spend an extra £4,000 on putting furniture in that, which would bring the return on investment a little bit lower. So if I was to get this property, I would probably negotiate the price down as much as possible and then rent it out as a simple buy-to-let. Simple, easy, and the profit per year on it is very stable. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, then hit like and subscribe. And if you're interested in getting your hands on some amazing property deals, then sign up to my free investor list. And if you have something very specific you're looking for, then I also offer a bespoke service. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment on where I should look for properties next, and I'll see you in the next one.